It's 10 o'clock, and this is Fox 10 Talks. This graphic shows it all, the danger of collapse at a high-rise building in New York City. A story that has been unfolding over the last few hours, and we finally now, just in the last maybe 20 minutes or so, have been hearing from both the mayor and officials there in New York City. It's going to be of our top story this morning because the mayor was saying to the people of New York, where they have now established, I think he called it kind of a frozen zone, a no-go zone in Manhattan, and saying it was an extremely serious situation. Coming up in 60 seconds, we're going to check in with our Richard Giacovas from Fox 5 in New York. Some of the other stories, though, that we're going to be talking about today, we have, if you love that TV show Ted Lasso, we have one of the big stars joining us live. You're going to see the actual video as passengers were rescued out of a river when a seaplane, I guess you could say, had a hard landing. I mean, it basically was tilting over right into the water. And then it is a big day in America's history and Arizona's history. Something happened in our state 45 years ago today, Des, that, I think should be celebrated forever. And we're going to be talking about that just a little bit later this morning.
That's exciting. A lot coming up. This show is packed.
Okay, that's Fox 10 Talks, that's for sure. And, of course, you can always watch us on the free Fox Local app and all the other platforms, as well as normally on Fox 10, but today we got a lot of soccer going on there. Let's go right to Richard in New York.
Absolutely, because, this is just developing by the second. I think startling when we had saw what was happening there and learned what was unfolding. Richard, good morning.
Desiree, Ron, it's good to be with you. I wish it was under better circumstances, but we just got some news that kind of unsettled us as well, hearing that building here at 235 East 42nd Street, the heart of Midtown Manhattan. If you know anything about it, it's moving, whether it's by inches or centimeters. It is still moving this afternoon, and it has been that way since the FDNY arrived on the scene. The mayor and FDNY officials calling this an extremely dangerous situation, something that they are going to continue monitoring. I'm going to give you a look at that building here. Now, when you mentioned earlier a frozen zone, what that means is there's no pedestrian traffic, there's no vehicular traffic for about 4 city blocks straight up from 41st to 45th, and then you have it from 1st up through 3rd Avenues. If you look at that building, you could potentially see that it's tough from this vantage point, but what the FDNY has told us and the mayor has told us, that it looks like it's almost slanted a little bit. It is moving so minusculely that it would be tough to see it moving by inches or centimeters, but the FDNY has tools that allow them to see when it is moving. Now what they have to do is shore it up. From what happened here this morning was construction workers got here just before 8 a.m., another day on the job for them. They get to the 21st floor. They see these 2 columns that have multiple cracks in them, some of them bent, and then they look and see sagging floors, both below and above them. They self-evacuate. They notify the proper people. Now, the FDNY arrives, and they're looking at it, and they're measuring it, and they're seeing the building move, again, by inches or even centimeters, and they're watching it move, and they know they have to shore it up. So we're waiting now on materials to arrive here to the city. They begin that process of shoring it up. That's when the engineers can go in, get that 21st floor shored up, and then look at the rest of the building to make sure that it is stable. All workers are accounted for here. There were no injuries, thank goodness, but it's still extensive and exhausting now to get this building deemed safe, and the buildings surrounding it. If we haven't mentioned, multiple evacuations at least 7 other buildings, including a school and a hotel. One school had 400 kids in it this morning when they had to evacuate it. All out of precaution, but of course, when you hear something is unstable around you, you do your best to get everybody out safely. And thank goodness for the workers who were inside that building and noticed something was wrong. The Department of Building says this has been a 2-year in the making project, the former headquarters of Pfizer here in New York. city was going from commercial to residential. It's the largest conversion in city history, where you're seeing now 1,600 units, residential units, in the process of being added to this structure and converted. And it's a 2-year process that was under a long review. Department of Buildings say everything seems safe, the plans were drawn up, but now it's something went wrong, obviously. They have to figure out what it is. As we wait now, we look at that building. I think everybody is just staring up at it, whether you've been evacuated or you're just passing through, but we're waiting to find out more information, and it seems like it's going to be a long time before we know, and things may stay status quo for some time.
Yeah, and Richard, we had to dip out of the news conference a little early on our newscast, and you talked about it a little bit, how they have to shore it up, obviously try to get this building to become structurally safe. Did they talk more about that process and what that looks like?
Not extensively. I think now they have to get materials, so they don't have the materials to shore it up yet. I'm sure they're en route, and they'll be here soon. They're obviously going to want to get that shored up as fast as they can. That's for a certain number of specialized engineers to go in there to shore it up. Once they get the materials to do that, then they can go examine all the other floors, why there's floors sagging on some different locations, and then what they could do next. They may actually be moving the media back a little bit further down now. So I think it's just all precautionary right now, but still very dangerous, and a situation that you can hear it in the mayor's voice, and even with the FDNY officials, just how serious this is. And I think everybody knew this was something to be watched, but we didn't realize that building was still moving at this hour.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's our Richard Giacovas with our sister station in New York, Fox 5. Richard, thank you. Maybe we can check in with you again a little bit later. It is obviously a very serious situation.
Sure thing. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Richard.
So what we did, Des, was we rolled immediately as soon as that news conference started. Mm-hmm. We're going to hear now just a kind of a clip from that, plus what people were saying on the ground that were nearby. And all of this, as it was just kind of unfolding over the course of about the last maybe 3 hours. Here we go.
All I know is they came on the intercom saying you need to get out, evacuate, take your belongings.
We were up working on the floor, and somebody saw that the concrete was coming down, the beams started bending, the windows started busting, and that's not something you see. I've been in construction 21 years, and I've never seen a beam bent in half, so this is super dangerous.
First responders and structural engineers are working closely with the project engineer to develop plans to shore up the impacted floor. If the floor is deemed to be secure, engineers will enter and begin shoring up the building. As we await the arrivals of materials that will stabilize the building, DOB engineers have been investigating with FDNY drones. This is an extremely serious situation, and I am thankful to our first responders for quickly arriving at the site and to New Yorkers for reacting calmly and with urgency. I'm grateful to report that there have been no injuries at this time and that every worker has been accounted for. The NYPD has instituted a frozen zone from 40th to 45th Streets between 1st and 3rd Avenues.
Meanwhile, Des, right across the river over in New Jersey, they had a building that actually did collapse. I mean, the irony here is really something. We have this video to share with you just this once. 27 people were inside this grocery store, and it was in Monmouth County, New Jersey, after a partial roof collapse at the BJ's Wholesale Club. Looks like everybody came out of it alive, and nobody was seriously hurt, but you can see all the flooding. Of course, they had extreme weather going on there, and I was worried. The second I saw this, I was worried about that older guy that was just kind of shopping for produce.
Yeah, it didn't look like he could move very quickly to even get out of the way.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's happened pretty quickly too.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously they knew there was severe weather. I'm sure you could hear it hitting the roof, but you don't expect for something like that to happen, where you see that huge gaping hole right there in the roof.
Well, and that's one of our we go a little more extensive here on our streaming show on Fox 10 Talk, so we can hopefully follow up on a lot of stories. That video was out there everywhere yesterday, but this morning at least we're able to report that everybody got out of there without any
that
injuries.
Is incredible,
It
right?
really is.
Just think, what if a mom was in there with their kids, or like you said,
yes,
I mean,
right?
anybody, right? But that's just a scary situation there to unfold.
Hey, we've just learned that the governor, Katie Hobbs, is in the middle of a news conference. Let's go there live right now. It turns out that she is speaking about, and they've become more controversial here, kind of as time has gone on, regarding these data centers.
Thank you so much.
Let's listen. Let's listen in for just a moment here. 20 what?
21.
Okay, go ahead,
I
Neil.
am Arizona Senate Democratic Leader Priya Sundaration, and we are here to celebrate that Arizona passed the largest, longest moratorium on new data center tax giveaways in the nation. Please clap. But we're celebrating, and we're here celebrating because this is what can happen when organizations, advocates, community leaders, and legislators — I want to shout out my own caucus member, Senator Lauren Kuby, who's here with us, but all of these legislative leaders as well — come together and fight for something that we're hearing the people talk about. For the last year and a half, we have been hearing from people as data centers have been proliferating across the state, and we've been hearing their concerns over the resource use that those data centers present. And they've been asking, how much water are they going to consume? How much energy will they be consuming? And how much are my utility bills going to be rising as a result? So I want to commend Governor Hobbs, who at the very beginning of this year identified the data center tax exemption as a prime source of a giveaway that no longer serves its purpose. And Senate Democrats were proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with Governor Hobbs and with our House counterparts to make this our top priority in this year's budget negotiations. So from day one, our goal this whole year has been simple: make Arizona more affordable for everyday Arizonans. And this data center tax giveaway was a key part of what we needed to rein in order to help represent everyday Arizonans and make their costs lower.
Okay, so we are going to, we will just stay on top of that. They have super controversial lately, these data centers, so certainly something to keep in mind.
Right, with the use of water, how it impacts the neighborhood, even utility bills for residents. So as you heard them, kind of addressing some of those concerns. Yeah.
Break time. Hey, if you love Tad Lasso, stay with us. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Ron and Des, we got live pictures coming in. Now, there is a motorcycle chase, Des, going on. And if you look upper right in the corner of your screen right now, you aren't going to believe some of these numbers. This guy is going like
120 miles per hour there at one point.
Yeah.
Slowing down right now into the 70s. Now look at this. We're back up to over 100 miles per hour on a bike. My goodness.
So this is, I think, one of the great inventions in helicopter coverage when they decided they were going to go ahead and put those radar guns up there. You know, it's a chance to actually see when the story is happening as it's unfolding live, and we're going to just kind of continue to follow. Sounds like it's in the on the 405, which is somewhat amazing, Des, because they always say the 405 over there in L.A. is one of the most congested freeways you're ever going to find anywhere in the country, and yet this guy seems to be finding, if he, I think they said he is, right around the Santa Monica Boulevard exit right now.
Just cut off a car as that vehicle was exiting on one of the off ramps there.
Yeah.
Looks like he is slowing down a bit.
Oh,
like he's struggling there. Is he going to make a run for it here? Look at it. He's slowing down, pulling over to the side.
Maybe he'll do the right
he's
thing.
Finally decided to stop.
Yeah, do the right thing right here. There you go.
There you
Good.
go.
See, hands are up.
Wow, cool.
Wow.
Doesn't always happen that way, but you know what?
No.
When you're on a freeway ramp and you can't jump over that concrete barrier. Look, he's just waiting. He's like, I give up. I will wait for law enforcement. And there he is now down on the ground.
Wow.
We're just not quite sure how far away either CHP or LAPD was in this case, but it looks like there we go. Here comes one of their squad cars right now. The guy is...
he's taking off his helmet, getting down on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take a second for them to get to him.
Yeah.
Because obviously with the chase, going that fast, police officers are, most likely to back off. They don't want to,
right.
put other motorists in any more danger than they already are with the way he was driving.
This is
incredible.
I think, Des, this may be one of the first times I've ever seen a chase come to an end before the officers arrived. Apparently he was running out of gas, but after a series of bad decisions, he made the most important decision, which was to get down. And maybe I guess I thought earlier when we saw that SUV, that was a police vehicle. So he's fully giving up. He knows they are monitoring him from the skies, and we are just wait until somebody from law enforcement, either CHP or LAPD, gets on the scene and gets him in cuffs and brings him in for a booking.
Wow. He seems to be pretty patient right now.
He sure does. Have you ever seen this before?
It's going to take a while for them to get to him.
Yeah. Where a guy gave up a chase?
No.
Before the police even got there.
I'm actually a little surprised he didn't, I guess, try to make a run for it. But, I mean,
yes.
If you have any ounce of, intelligence, you're thinking, I can't outrun the drone and the surveillance in the sky. And there's the chopper.
What a wild situation. Wow. All right. Well, there you go. I mean, we just heard a few minutes ago from our sister station in New York, Fox 5, and their coverage of that dangerous situation in the heart of Manhattan. And now here we are a few minutes later with our sister station in L.A., Fox 11, flying overhead as this police chase. I don't even know if you can call it a chase, basically. It was the guy. There we go.
Look at that. Here they are.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy obviously is ready to give himself up. And so, as opposed to so often when we see these situations come to an end, by the way, Sepulveda and
Wilshire Boulevards, they're right off the 405.
Dave, go ahead and repeat. I couldn't hear you. Go ahead, say it again.
At one point, he was going over 140 miles per
Wow.
hour.
140 mph.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow, that is fast. So dangerous on the bike, too, to his own life.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow. It'd be interesting to learn what started that chase, in the first place. Were they trying to pull him over for maybe a traffic violation? Or, were they searching for the suspect, maybe involved in another case? But they do have their, weapons drawn as they give him commands there, which, he
standard procedure.
Does. Standard procedure. You got to make sure that he's not carrying a weapon and he's not any danger to the officers. But
At some point, they'll have him fully down on the ground. So there you go. Okay, those are the live pictures coming in this morning. Now, there are several other big stories that we want to talk about this morning, and one is a kind of a bombshell in the political world. A guy named Graham Plattner, don't know if you're familiar with that name, but a woman came out yesterday, and she said, I've been hesitating to come forward with my true story, but I felt like I had to. And part of the reason, she said, was that she agrees with his politics. And she knew that by coming forward, it might end his political career. But in the end, she felt like she had to. Mm-hmm. And so she said, her quote was that it was absolutely, quote unquote, a case of rape, what happened to her several years ago at the hands of Graham Plattner. Now, he denies the allegations, but take a listen.
Regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward.
I don't have anything to say to that trash bag.
John Fetterman is one of many Democrats who are speaking out against the guy. The thing is, he had been embraced by Elizabeth Warren, by Bernie Sanders. I believe Bernie Sanders kind of helped to, if you want to say, discover him and bring his candidacy forward. But Sanders spoke within about the last hour or so and said, I did call him. I told him, drop out, get out of the race.
Every single one of
So then the poll question becomes, what does this mean, for the political impact? We wait. We haven't heard yet that there's any type of actual final announcement from him that he's getting out, but boy, it sure seems like it is. So here are your options here. Will this make it tougher for Democrats to win back the Senate? 80% are saying, yeah, he caused all this turmoil himself. Susan Collins most likely will win now, but 8% say no, there's going to be another Democrat to take his place who will actually be a better candidate. And then there are still enough toss-up states without Maine for Democrats to win the whole thing.
Yeah, and then on YouTube, we have 733 votes on this poll question here this morning, with 53% of folks saying, yes, he's caused so much turmoil, Susan Collins will win. 35% say no, another Democrat will take his place and win. And 12% say there are enough toss-up states without Maine for Democrats.
Okay, so you've got a couple of different ways to vote there. We are going to shift gears right now because Cristo is standing by.
Yeah.
How about that? We're so excited. Cristo Fernández, he plays Donnie Rojas. And I guess it's a character that the whole country's kind of fallen in love with.
Oh, gosh. If you're a fan of Ted Lasso, you're also a fan. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. Obviously, we're going to talk a little Ted Lasso and football and your incredible new children's book. Welcome to the show.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you for having me.
That's great. Hey, what was your beverage of choice right there when we caught you unexpectedly?
I'm having a coffee because it's been a long day, but I am grateful you're talking to me.
That's so great. All right, tell us about the book that I have a feeling now, so it's gone bilingual, and do I have it right? The English version came out earlier. Now you're launching the Spanish language version, and you got a chance to maybe potentially reach millions of kids who are going to want to hear your message. Take it away.
Thank you. I'm grateful with Scholastic that believe in the bilingual concept, because I believe in a multicultural world. I think I try to always learn something new from other cultures, and that's the world we live in. Ever since I'm from Guadalajara, Jalisco, and when I went to the UK to study and prepare myself and work, and I always brought my culture. I always said gracias, por favor, like my parents taught me, and I also like to celebrate with tequila and with mazapanes. Are my favorite candies from Mexico. Just bringing my culture out there, I think it's been the key for me, and I also think it's a superpower that everyone has, because just being truthful to who you are opens your door, regardless of who you are and where you come from. And that's also one of the lessons I hope people, both kids and grown-ups, get out of my children's book, to just always embrace who you are and where you come from.
And So speaking of being such a huge star, part of such a successful series like Ted Lasso, how did that feel to you to be able to bring your culture right into the show?
Well, yeah, it was it became later on a responsibility. I am grateful forever with Jason, Brendan, Joe, Bill, and the writers and my cast and the fans that they fell in love with Danny Rojas and how much Danny Rojas meant to so many people and to me it was an opportunity to represent someone like me from Mexico, from Latin America in a positive way, and that's who we are. Because if you go to my home in Guadalajara, my mom will cook for you, and make sure my friends show you the best time around, because that's who we are. And that's my culture, and I believe that the more you give, the more you receive, and I think those aspects are something that Danny Rojas represents out there, and that's who I am, because yeah, I believe in that.
I love that. Okay, so tequila is also my drink of choice.
Okay,
so I'm with you on
that's
that.
good.
What's your favorite brand? I'm curious.
Well, right now, I really love Tequila Cazadores.
Oh.
Tequila Cazadores, yes. And I like it reposado on the rocks. And
okay.
with a slice of lime or grapefruit, some citrus.
Well, there you go. Hey, by the way, we can't wait for the next series. Tell them to hurry up and get that next one ready to go. We're all ready to watch.
Yes, I also cannot wait to watch it. I know it's a different take on this new Ted Lasso, but it's a reminder as well of always work hard and focus on the things I can control and focus on my own work, because at the end of the day, what brought me to Ted Lasso was my first ever professional acting job.
Love it.
It was many years of working on my own projects, my own short films, giving myself a role. That's why I'm also now working on my film company with my sister Paloma and giving myself some roles there, like my new film, No Tradition Required. I hope you watch it.
Thank you, Cristo.
Thank you, Cristo, also known as Danny Rojas in Ted Lasso. Thank you so much. Can't wait to read your book.
Thank you very much, and see you in El Paso, Texas, where we're playing right now. Lots of love to my new family, Los Locos, in El Paso, Texas, El Paso Locomotive.
Love it.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Hey, here's the mystery cam, everybody. Well, we're just now getting a chance to get you the mystery cam. And so here's a chance for you to get your guesses in. Are you seeing anything yet, Des, on the guest front?
Yeah, just a few.
Okay.
We have Louis Gonzalez is guessing Alabama. B. Miguel thinks this could be Georgia. We've got a Missouri guess from Linda. And a Connecticut from Paul Humphrey.
Wow.
Alabama.
Okay.
Another Alabama in there. A little philosophy. And Thomas Brown says this is North Carolina.
Well, I love that we're all over the map. All over the map. Let's see.
Oh, and Jenna, she's in our chat today. Good morning, Jenna. She goes, I'm so frustrated. YouTube is being, I'll say, silly today. She just missed everything from the last 5 minutes. Oh
no.
All right. Well, I don't know.
Well, you can
Maybe
always scroll backwards.
Back.
Yeah.
Because you just missed a great interview. If you're a fan of Ted Lasso, we just had on Cristo Fernández, who plays Danny Rojas. That was a great interview. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was pretty
guy.
cool to find out, if you've watched Ted Lasso, that his character is him. you know, like
100%.
Not putting on a front. That was pretty cool.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go North Carolina, looking at all these various guesses here. How about you?
I will go with Alabama because it's in there a couple times, so sure, why not?
Okay.
We have a guest, too. Robert.
Yep. Hold on. Let me get your
from
mic
Arizona
open.
Highways.
World traveler. What do you think?
I think I'm going to go with Alabama, too. It's pretty flat out there.
Here we go.
All right. Hopefully. Oh, we're kind of close.
Yeah.
It's Dublin, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Okay. I think we've actually had this one before.
I think
Shame
you're
on
probably
me.
right about
I do
it.
not remember that.
Yeah. I just love in Georgia how it was like when they were naming towns, they just ran out of authentic names. You've got a Rome,
Yeah,
you've got an Athens, you've got a Dublin.
Yep.
Hey, look who's here.
Hey.
Robert Stieve.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You know I love being here, man.
Good.
That interview with Danny Rojas,
right?
You know, his character. What a great interview. What a great guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, you're one of our favorite guests, too.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll have to write a children's book.
You could. I mean, oh my gosh, you could turn some of these photographs that you guys do in the magazine into coloring pages.
All right. I think we should talk about that.
I would be on board for that.
Hold that thing up there, Des. 250 things we love about Arizona.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, in honor of the nation's big celebration, we thought we'd do our nod to that with 250 things. There are a lot more things to love than 250. We just came up with 250 and managed to squeeze them in. Counted several times before we went to press to make sure we actually had 250, and it all added up.
Okay, well, let's get right to it here. Start walking us through. There's the cover. That we already saw, but here we go.
Yeah, you know what we're looking at here today, we invited a lot of our some of our landscape photographers to talk about their favorite places to make a photograph. So we had great response from them. We reached out to our contributors for the whole issue, but these are just some beautiful places in Arizona that we think are great places to make a photograph. This is in Tonto Creek, central Arizona. Just a beautiful spot there.
How much of the year does it flow?
That flows year-round. It's the volume that changes, I think. You know, and that's historically as things, you know, get a little bit drier, you know, with this drought. It's hard to say what will happen down the road. But, you know, as you're looking through these, I mean, you just get to see how diverse the state is geographically.
Absolutely. Let's go to the next one now. We're going to go to graphics 4. Neil, I'll let you call that one up for me. Oh, wait, no, here we go. There's 5.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, this is a different look at the San Francisco peaks. This is looking from south to north across something called Marshall Lake, which isn't like a lake you might see in the Midwest, but it's a lake here in Arizona. And obviously just another look at a beautiful place. The San
I
Francisco
just love the very late in the day sunset. It's like if you look from where you're standing here, if you look more to the left over toward Williams, you'd see the sunset.
You're exactly right. Yeah, and that golden light is hitting those grasses. It's so pretty.
So beautiful. Okay, here we go. And next one.
Okay, Aravaipa Canyon. You know, for your viewers out there, this is, you know, I can't say it's a hidden gem in Arizona. Enough people know about it, but they only limit.
It's exclusive.
It's exclusive, exactly. I think we let only 10 people a day in there. It's a wilderness area, very fragile ecosystem, but this too is a perennial stream, Aravaipa Creek, and it's just a wonderful spot. It's kind of between Tucson and Phoenix. That's actually more south of Globe, so it's a little bit east of here, but south.
I was going to ask for I was going to ask for driving instructions, and that's exactly what Robert just
Well, you
did
know what
for
people
us.
do? You can enter it from either the east side or the west side. It's a 10-mile trek, and what people do is you take two different groups and park on opposite sides, and then you trade your car keys halfway through, so you can do it as a one-way hike. And then but you have to trust somebody to drive your car on the other end, which, not everyone has that trust. But
Right. Do you know the parameters to be able to get on this list?
Yeah, this is, you've probably heard about the Wave up in northern Arizona, which is really a brutal sort of lottery system to get on that one. This one's not too bad, just because it's a little more remote. And it's really just a matter of, getting your name drawn. So, and certainly if you go on a weekday, you're probably going to have a better shot.
Yeah. Okay. That's beautiful.
All right, let's go to the next one. Here we go.
Oh, you're going to like this, Ron.
Yeah.
So you see those plants there on the right. You've got a saguaro and a Joshua tree.
Yeah.
Only place in America that those two grow together is here in Arizona, because they have very distinct ecosystems. Of course, the saguaros are mostly only found in Arizona and Sonora, Mexico, a few in California. And the Joshua trees have a very limited range as well. But there's one point here in Arizona where these two trees grow together.
I was just driving back. I took my grandkids. We did some hiking up around Zion and Bryce. We're driving back on Highway 93, and I'm like, now look at this Joshua Tree Parkway. Is that where this is from?
It's not too far from there, exactly. And we actually have more Joshua trees along that parkway than they have in the national park. It's just not broadcast the same way, So that's another beautiful thing, So if you are driving to Vegas, there's something to look at on the way up.
Love it.
And do we have another?
Okay. Deer Creek Falls. This is in the Grand Canyon. The only way to get to this place is via a raft, so you have to be on a river trip to get here. Every company stops here. There's a beach on the bottom, and then you can hike up into this little canyon up on top, which is a sacred space for the Paiute people. You can't hike back into it from above because of it being sacred. You have to, obviously, you're not only tribal members can do that, but if you're ever lucky enough to be on a river trip, you're going to stop here, and then you are going to be blown away by what I think is one of the most beautiful places in the canyon.
This is the thing. Sometimes you got to put the extra effort in. It's not like you can just pull off the I-17 and it's right there.
Yeah, and we have lots of those places in Arizona too. But you're right. It takes a little effort. It's worth it.
All right, let's see. I think we've got one more.
Yeah, and this is one of those drive-up places. You queued it up, Ron. This is in Saguaro National Park, a place that, you literally, there's a parking lot right there, and you can walk up and get this great shot of saguaros in the background with the petroglyphs on the rocks, and sort of experience what a lot of people think of when they think of Arizona, which is the Sonoran Desert.
And folks in the chat, they're loving these pictures. Louis Gonzalez says, love that photo. And David Perry, Arizona is certainly beautiful. So if you are in the chat and you have a favorite hike or a favorite Arizona spot, throw it in there so we can see what you guys like. But this issue is pretty unique too. You guys kind of broke down some of these 250 things about Arizona into different lists. So you have local artisans, restaurants.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we reach out to some of our favorite local artisans. You mentioned there's a whole column of burritos, just burritos around the state. You need to eat this burrito here. And then we found a fruit burrito somewhere. I think down in by Tumacacari, way down.
Like a regular tortilla, like a
I mean, I haven't taste tested, but we got most of our information came from our contributors, and people stood by that. Places to take your dog, things like that.
So this was almost like a subscriber poll. Is that where a lot of the input came from?
No, it came from our contributors. Subscribers, we love them, but there's more bias there. I think we're trying to spread it out and be a little more objective.
I was going to offer a few more options in Mesa.
Well, we would trust you, especially in Mesa. Nobody knows that town better than you.
Thank you. By the way, I was talking with Rick D'Amico, one of our favorites here from years ago.
I remember coming on with him.
He said, I was in Mesa yesterday. He had to go to a store out there, and he said, I still don't see any signs saying that you're the unofficial mayor
I'm just waiting for your
of Hooterville.
campaign, but
Yeah.
then would you have to step away from here?
I don't know.
So then I guess we don't.
I guess as long as it's unofficial, I said, believe me, I drive around, I look, I don't see him either. Robert, come by and see us every month.
Love being here.
Yeah, we love your visits. We love your contributors. It's all incredible. Hey, by the way, before we go to break, I think, let me pop this up as, hold on. Do we have the TV poll today, you guys? I don't know if we do. Anyway, our poll question, it's National... What was it, Des? Tell a Lie Day?
It's National Tell a Lie Day.
Yeah. So we all had to be honest.
Absolutely.
And the question was, are there, even if it's like a little white lie, what's something, and you had to be honest about how you lied.
Honest on
and
the
you
poll.
said...
Yeah. My top lie is when I say, oh, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but really, you're not? So hundreds of times you've told me you're great, everything's fine?
There's always something going on. Right? But when someone, how are you doing today? You've had like a terrible morning.
Or how about this?
Well, do I tell you about my terrible morning, or I just say, I'm fine?
Or how about this? Hey, it's really great to see you.
When in reality, you're like, please don't waste my time.
As soon as
That's
he's
a good
done,
one.
Robert is running across the studio.
I didn't mean it to you.
You know what I said was, I'm on my way.
Oh, that's
because I'll
another
be
one.
texting with my wife Renee, and I'll be like, okay, I'm out the door, and then 15 minutes later, I'm like, I'm still at work.
Yeah.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, you're right. I lie about that one too, but inadvertently, because I have 4 littles.
Oh.
So I will be on my way out the door, and then we have a blowout, and then all of a sudden I'm not on my way out the door.
When I use that with my kids, they get on 360, and they say, you haven't left the house yet. I can see on the app that you're still at home.
Wow.
There you go.
Checking up on
You're
me.
under
Wow.
surveillance.
That's harsh.
Okay, Robert Stieve, one of our favorite guests from Arizona Highways.
Thanks,
you, buddy.
gang.
Thank you.
See you in a week. Okay, mystery cam, we already solved that one, that's for sure. But we keep looking at all these cams from across the USA. And listen, coming up next, why 45 years ago today was a huge day in American and Arizona history. Can you guess why? Hey, everybody. Ron and Des hanging out with you for about 15 more minutes, and then Ty and Danielle are going to boot us out of here, but we'll be back at 11:30.
Yeah.
We got a good game plan.
We'll let them. I guess they can have a turn.
Hey, by the way, our poll question's getting plenty of talk this morning. What do you think's going to happen now with this whole Graham Plattner situation? Is it going to make it tougher for Democrats to win back the Senate? 76% say yep. 9% say no, and 15% are saying there's still so many toss-up states, even without Maine. Let's see what Dave is finding in terms of commentary.
So many comments on fox10phoenix.com/poll as well as on YouTube. We love hearing from you guys. RJ Cisco 6056 says this scandal shows you the basic difference between the two parties. All of Plattner's Democratic endorsements have been pulled, yet Ken Paxton is getting bankrolled to the tune of millions of dollars. Sugar Kitty 8 says Plattner is bad news. He needs to definitely prove his case outside of an election, which will take a couple of years. Do it later if you turn out to be innocent. Otherwise, step aside for someone who can lead by example. Sue Collins is a wishy-washy puppet without a backbone. And finally, Derek Dev says definitely not condoning, but POTUS set the bar awfully low for this one. Really interesting comments. Keep them coming, guys.
Okay. Hey, you know, Des, I'm a little bit of a history nerd. Did you know that about me?
I had no idea.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Well,
It's that great American story for fun.
Oh, yes, right. Well, it is kind of, you know, it's like my dad always said, do what you love. You never
told you,
work
you
a
would have
day.
been a great history professor.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is super cool. 45 years ago today, Sandra Day O'Connor was nominated by President Ronald Reagan to become the first woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court. Hard to believe that was only 45 years ago that ceiling was cracked, and she was the one to do it. She was just the consummate Arizonan. Here are some of the highlights from back in those early days, back in Washington. I was just a young reporter in Spokane.
Wow.
On that day.
What was it like covering this?
It was really cool because she just had this sort of, I don't know if charisma is the right word, but just a persona that I think you kind of wanted to gravitate to. You know what's so interesting? She, of course, was raised on a ranch in the Arizona hinterlands, almost into New Mexico. When she was a little girl, she learned how to ride horses and repair fences. And in fact, when she was young, she learned how to drive truck out there on the dirt roads before she was even old enough to drive on the pavement.
Wow. So they have the largest ranch and most successful ranch in the region.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The Lazy Bee. But she also, I don't know if everybody is aware of this, she was a real pioneer in Arizona politics before she became the ultimate pioneer for the Supreme Court. She was the first woman to serve as the majority leader of the Arizona State Senate of any state in America, right here in Arizona.
That's pretty cool.
So she just kept doing it. And then the other part of the story that I thought was really cool is when she retired, it was a little bit of a shock. Because it was 2005. She was still quite active on the court, but she, as the saying goes, she retired for love. Her husband, John J. O'Connor III, had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and she felt like she owed it to him to step down and to support him in his journey. So,
that's incredible.
What a life.
Yeah.
45 years ago today. The other thing I thought was interesting, Des, it was 2007. Do the math. 18 years ago.
Yeah.
19,
I'm not good at math, I will admit. I can't do
19 years ago,
Okay.
that the new 7 wonders of the world were chosen.
Oh.
And so I need to actually look through some of my paperwork to see if we have all of the list of them. Because, for example, one of them is the Christ the Redeemer statue high up on the mountain. I don't know if that's Sugarloaf Mountain, but it's there in Rio.
Yes, we see that quite often. Yeah. That one is beautiful.
The Taj Mahal was one of the 7. These are the new 7 wonders of the world. The Colosseum in Rome, in Italy, which at one point had, this is 2,000 years ago, and they could still get 50,000 people in there. They built something that big
incredible.
that long ago.
Right.
And then, how about this? Ready? Okay, hang on. I think I got a picture here. I'm going to share it with you right now.
Did you take a photo at one of these?
Yeah.
Look at that.
The Great Wall. And so it's a kind of a funny story. I had a week off.
Who are you with?
I'm with my daughter Michelle.
Okay.
And her husband Nick.
Oh, fun.
And so I had like a month before vacation time, and I thought I'm going to go to New Orleans, and I literally found a cheaper airfare to Beijing, China, than to fly to New Orleans.
What year was this?
2017. Okay, so a few years ago. And by the way, when you look at it, it's just, it just boggles the mind to think that this wall was constructed so long ago, and it's definitely worth going and spending some time there. I think I maybe have one other picture of kind of what it looks like when you, maybe not. All right, I guess that's all we got. But, yeah, it's, there it is.
Kind of surreal.
That's
right?
what it looks like from up at the top.
Oh,
looking back down, and it goes along this whole ridge line and everything, and it was super cool. So
it's more than 13,000 miles long.
Well, a lot of it is dilapidated, but they have restored hundreds and hundreds of miles that you can walk on.
Wow.
So, yeah. In fact, when I got to the top here, if I turn the camera the other way, it just kind of goes into the wilderness there. There's still a trail that you can walk on, and you can still see kind of the rough outline, but you want to make sure you're going to a part that's been restored.
Okay.
So
yeah, because if not, you got to just turn right back around.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are any?
It would be a good run. Do people run?
Oh, I
along
think
the wall?
so.
Or
I think so.
That would be.
I'm
just
sure, right?
Really cool. Yeah.
Anyway, any of these on your bucket list? Great Wall of China, the Colosseum in Rome, the Chichen Itza pyramids of Mexico, Machu Picchu, the Taj Mahal. What do you think?
Well, I have seen the Chichen Itza, so that was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was right after, right before I think David and I got married.
Really? You're like, I want to marry you, but real quick, I got to get down to Chichen Itza.
Yeah. You know what? Yes. Oh my goodness. That was when he proposed at home in front of our friends and family.
Okay.
And then that's how it happened. And then we took our trip to Cancun.
Okay.
We did some of like the tours. So we did see the Chichen Itza. And so that was right after we got engaged.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I guess the next one on my list would be, I would like to see the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, me too.
Or the Colosseum.
Right.
I've never been to, Rome.
Yeah, that one I saw. It was pretty amazing, too.
Yeah, I bet.
So, but the Taj Mahal, it feels like it would be complicated to get there.
Of
just
course.
flying from here to India seems like it takes a lot of work.
But it seems very just like high end and
right?
Yes. It'd be cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's World Chocolate Day. I've kind of switched my chocolate eating lately. I don't know if you have. I'm a big Reese's peanut butter cup guy. But lately I've been kind of finding myself gravitating toward Twix.
Oh, okay.
When I'm walking into a QT.
Like a little crunch with the caramel in there?
A little bit of crunch and caramel. Or what's yours?
Oh my gosh. My go-to, you know what? I love the Reese's Sticks.
Oh, I've seen those.
You need to try those.
I haven't branched out.
Oh, it's Kit Kat and Reese's had a baby.
Really?
Oh, they're so good.
Okay, all right. Well, that would be good. Dave, what's your go-to in the chocolate world anymore?
Man, I love all chocolate. I will take all chocolate. I will eat all chocolate. I won't discriminate.
Right? I know, it doesn't matter. But okay, if you had to just like grab one though.
Right.
What would it be?
It'd probably be a Snickers bar. I think that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Do you have one? I would love one right now.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
No, Ron.
Does anybody have a Snickers
why would
bar
Ron
for
bring
Mr.
this topic
Taylor?
up and not bring us chocolate?
Could we get Mr. Taylor some chocolate for a moment here?
You know what? I know whose desk I can raid, potentially. Ty Brennan.
Oh, there's the chocolate
he
stash.
tends to have sometimes a jar of peanut M&Ms.
Ooh.
They're long gone, he says.
Gone.
They don't...
Oh, by the way, we have a vote here from Low Philosophy saying, come on, you guys. It's the Three Musketeers. I feel like it gets forgotten.
You know what? I do like those. And you know what my little... it's so silly.
Is there a little
I unwrap
treat?
them and I'll throw them in the microwave.
Really?
Just for like 3 or 5 seconds.
Okay.
And then
so they're
just,
not
like,
full on
literally,
goo.
Like, melt. Oh, it's so good. So try that if you like the Three Musketeers.
Remember, 5 seconds max, please.
Yeah, you don't want to melt the whole thing.
Hey,
And you got another Jared of Sonora. You're not alone with the Twix.
Good.
Yeah,
Great. Thank you, buddy. Hey, before we get out of here, this video to me was one of my favorites. I thought we had to share it, Des. Okay, check this out. Did you hear about the cows that made a break for it?
I did not see this.
Yeah.
No.
So this is from Wisconsin, and police there in Marshfield, they had to get out. Look at them. They're literally making a bid for freedom. They're like, we've heard the word on what might be in store. So,
they said, we don't want to be milked.
Right? Well, that's
worse.
the thing. These are dairy cows, right? I don't know if they're headed.
They look like dairy cows.
Yeah, right? So they should still be able to.
They're like, well, we want to keep our milk for ourselves.
I just think it's so funny.
Leave my udders be.
When they've got the video of that. Look at this. That's the video that's really quite amazing, huh?
You should have saw the face Danielle just made at me off camera.
Yeah?
She's like, you're wild.
Okay. Whatever that was.
But they're not running that fast. I mean, these guys are keeping up with them.
Oh, now, like, as soon as you say it, then they speed up the video. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I guess that's
Where was
just
this?
in Wisconsin.
Marshfield.
In Marshfield, Wisconsin. And
look at how pretty that is.
Isn't it really?
To see the fields like that.
I know.
It's beautiful.
We kind of miss the green once in a while.
We appreciate our farmers. That is hard work.
Yes.
Right?
Right?
That is hard, unglamorous, unappreciated work.
So here's what happened. First, the police came out, and then they had some other nearby farmers jump in to help. What were they going
to do? Wrangle them or something?
Right, yeah. And then they brought in a zookeeper. And all of it, they had to track these guys down 1.5 miles away. That's where it all their bid for freedom finally came to an end.
Wow.
So.
Well, I'm glad they're back home.
Yeah, no kidding. We need to be able to drink our milk, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we were saying, we have another half hour coming up. It is Ty and Danielle, all kinds of cool stuff. And then
Ty, Danielle, and our meteorologist extraordinaire, Crystal Ortiz.
You know what
live studio audience, you guys.
How hot will it get? And when are we finally getting back down to 107?
Right.
Crystal's got the answers. We'll see you.
That was great. We need to do more clapping. I love that.
All right, happy Tuesday, and we're going to keep things rolling now at 11 o'clock on Fox 10 Talks, and we have a special guest here in studio because it's going to be brutally warm, so we thought we'd bring Crystal in to talk about this. These could be some of the warmest temperatures we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, it's looking like it. If we can make it to 115 by tomorrow, that'll be the hottest we've had so far this year. Lucky us.
Lucky us.
I mean, it's July. This happens. Yeah. It's a thing we do, but we're never excited about it. That's for sure.
No. We're going to play a little game. You said try and guess what the current temperature is at Phoenix Sky Harbor.
Yes.
Danielle, what did you say?
I said 105.
I said 101.
Okay, let's see. I have not checked in like an hour, so
103.
Wait, so 101, 105. So you were both two off.
Yeah.
Right smack dab in the middle. Congrats to you both.
There you go.
Or congrats to no one because it's 103 outside at 11.
Already at 11.
Yeah, it's brutal. So no surprise, forecast high. Not going to be record setting, but it is going to be like well above average. We're at 103 now. We've got the nice clear sunny sky. I'm sure you've heard us talking about it, but it's also a little humid out there. I wouldn't say we're like full on humid, muggy, monsoon pattern stickiness, but a little bit sticky with that dew point temperature of 51. We are starting to notice that moisture uptick. Enough so that in the high country today, particularly in the eastern part of the state, there will be a chance for a few showers and thunderstorms to move on through. But even like up to Flagstaff along the Mogollon Rim could see a few storms. And then tonight, outflow from some of those storms could turn the East Valley a bit windy overnight as well. But let's talk heat because we've got that extreme heat warning went into effect this morning, an hour ago, and it will last through Thursday at least. National Weather Service has this out for almost all of southern Arizona, including all of Maricopa County, with the exception of right up against the mountainside, as you can see on that far east edge of the county. Most of Pinal County, same deal. Most of Pima County down near Tucson, same deal. All for that high risk of heat-related illness, in part due to the fact that at night we really aren't cooling down. So like this morning, for the most part, we were in the low 90s. You know, maybe briefly dropped to an 88, 89 in some spots, but much of the valley, it was low 90s to kick us off. So you're not getting the overnight relief. And then same thing for the Grand Canyon below 4,000 feet, that extreme heat warning all the way through Saturday night. So a long stretch of extreme heat warnings because of the temperatures. Today's forecast is 114. The record's 118. So we're, again, not record level. We've been hotter. I'm sure we remember, was it 23, I think it was, where we had just that awful July.
It was like 4 days.
Horrible July. Yeah, so we've had worse, but this is still quite warm. That record, by the way, was set in 2017. The culprit, it's kind of an interesting pattern. So we've got this ridge of high pressure that's dominating, like, honestly, a good chunk of the country, but especially the southwestern and southern portions of the U.S., which is really making our temperatures quite hot. It's going to continue to remain over us and kind of center point up through tomorrow, which is why tomorrow looks like it'll be our hottest day at 115. And then as it starts to kind of slip into itself, a new ridge of high pressure builds. So that means that we will continue with these temperatures at 110 plus through Thursday and even Friday before things will start to chill out a little bit over the weekend. But these are the highs for the entire state today. 115 down at Gila Bend, 101 for Kingman, upper 90s for Winslow. Sedona's at almost 100 degrees, which is unfortunate, of course, for the firefighters that are currently efforting against the pocket fire up there. And then 101 in Globe for that temperature. So the temperatures, I mean, all around the map are just hot. I mean, there's no real way to slice it. The one like silver lining is that because of that dome of high pressure, the way it's going to eventually center up, it should start to push a little more monsoonal moisture our direction. So while we're dry the next several days in the valley, as we go into the weekend and early next week, we will see a low chance of showers and storms develop. My hope is I'll be able to increase those rain chances as my confidence increases. We're still kind of far out, but my hope is the pattern continues to look good as I track the models the next few days, and we'll see those storm chances improve. But there's the 10-day. 115 for your Wednesday, 114 for your Thursday, 112 for your Friday. Wow. And then Ron teased this, but we do get to 107 on Sunday, so woohoo!
I was going to say it's sad when we look at that second week there and we're like, ooh, a cool down at 108 and 107.
Yeah, it's a toasty one. But again, I mean, we've definitely had 10 days where more than half the 10-day has been 110 plus. So even this, although it will feel very hot, and people need to obviously proceed with caution, try to be indoors when possible, but we've seen worse, technically. So.
That is true. But it is going to be hot and some of the warmest we've seen so far. So buckle up.
Buttercup.
Stay in the AC.
Des said that today.
She did.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
It's going to get hot.
Here we go.
Those buttercups going to be melting.
They will be melting.
Indeed.
Most definitely. Crystal,
right.
thank you.
Crystal, thank you. Of course, anytime we have this extreme temperature, we want to remind folks that hiking during this these extreme temperatures is going to be put on hold.
Yeah, especially for the city of Phoenix. They do put those those restrictions in place. Those are on Camelback Mountain, Piestewa Peak. They will be closed between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And at South Mountain, there's a lot of trails that are closed as well. Some do remain open there at South Mountain if you have to get a hike in.
If you have
to do it.
I feel like this is the time of the year where you can have an excuse to be like, I'm not doing it.
You know, it doesn't sound, and I know there's those diehards out there who do it every single day, but I just feel like it's just not even enjoyable at that point. But that's just me. So stay safe out there, everyone. Drink plenty of water.
All right, let's move on to what we are reading. These are the top trending stories right now on our website. And the first one kind of getting a lot of clicks.
Look at that. Shampoo recalled over possible harmful bacteria, the FDA says.
That's kind of gross, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Does it say the brand or? Oribe.
Oribe. I was like, that's an expensive one too,
I think that is, yeah.
Oribe Serene Scalp Defensifying? Is that even a word? Defensifying? Oh, densifying.
I think you may be using some of this shampoo.
I think it's gone right into my cranium.
The brain cells.
It's been recalled because of some sort of bacteria.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Yeah, I don't know that either. But
get rid of it.
Yep, get rid of it.
Oribe. How about this next one?
All right. The U.S. Treasury is holding approximately $29.7 billion in matured U.S. savings bonds. Can those hit my savings
I know,
account?
right? So this whole article is how you can go in to check to see if any of those saving bonds are in your name. So you might want to go click on that one.
Have you ever done that where you check to see?
The lost money?
Yes.
I did.
Me too.
Okay, where
I think I had like $45.
I forgot my tax return when I lived in Colorado, and I got like $120 back from the state of Colorado.
Look at you.
Yeah, it's kind of worth it to go check that.
Money bags.
Yeah, that 120 went real far.
Boy. Got about 2 Starbucks drinks.
And then our third story, and this is getting a lot of clicks on our website as well. 2 hurt in that Mesa double shooting. 1 person is detained. So we're still getting some more information about this, but this was the breaking news that we brought you on AZAM yesterday.
Go check them out on the website there.
All right, obviously we are in the thick of wildfire season, and there are so many things to think of, especially for our friends that live in the central and northern portions of the state that are affected by these wildfires. When it comes to your pet, some people might not even realize some of the things they may need to be doing now.
Right.
So we thought we'd bring in an expert here this morning.
Dr. Kelsey Hall.
Dr. Kelsey
with
Hall.
us. And then who do you have?
I have Sophie here.
This gorgeous girl.
9-year-old chocolate Labrador who's actually a certified therapy dog. So she goes and does lots of work and comes and hangs out with us.
Is she yours?
Yes.
She is yours? Oh, she is. I was like, she's very well behaved. So she's got to be like, someone knows how to take care of her.
Right, when Ty walked through the door, she just rolled right on over to her back.
She knows a sucker when she sees one.
And knows where to get treats.
Yes, exactly. Well, Dr. Hall, speaking of wildfires, I think a lot of us humans think about, ourselves and medication and what we need to bring. But we have our 4-legged friends as well. So how do people get prepared for that?
Yeah, it's really important that people consider all members of their family, right, including their pets. So being prepared, like you had mentioned, medications, food, water, all of those basics, but don't overthink it. Make sure you just think of what is going to be a normal thing you bring for yourself. Make sure you bring it for them. Getting those bags packed ahead of time is always going to be important.
And Dr. Hall, the other point that you made, which I think is so important, especially we just came off of 4th of July, where unfortunately we see so many pets get lost because they get spooked. You say make sure that everything's updated. And this might be a perfect time to just update the tags and their microchip.
Yes, microchipping is a big thing. Make sure your pet gets microchipped. Make sure you know the company that they're microchipped with. How is that company going to contact you? Make sure that contact information is updated. And if you're unsure how to do that, just go talk to your local veterinarian. We're happy to help.
Yeah,
and when there's wildfires, similar to fireworks, we just had 4th of July, as Ty mentioned, but they probably get spooked. They don't know what's going on. If all the kind of the rush, or I'm assuming just stay calm, or what are some of those tips?
Yep, that's a big thing to understand and know your pet ahead of time too, especially those guys that have kitties. They are the ones that are going to be very challenging because they get very stressed. They can go hide. They can go get themselves in places that are hard to go get. So understanding your pet, having a plan, having carriers, harnesses ready to go, knowing how to manage their stress is going to be really important.
And it's probably good to kind of, I guess, maybe, I don't know the right word to use, but maybe like rehearse in case of an emergency. I worked in Colorado before I worked here, and they said the same thing. You kind of need need to rehearse for what you're going to do in case of an emergency of like a wildfire?
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea for people to do, and make that plan with your pets. Exactly. What is step 1? What is step 2? Where's my bag? Where's my carrier? How am I going to do this? Where am I going to go? That's another big important factor. Everybody has their house set up for their pets, but if you can't stay there, where are you going to go? Friend's house, family, pet-friendly hotels. Have a plan of where you're going to go.
And a lot of these shelters do cater to individuals with four-legged friends. They either have a separate area or they can let them go in there. So you need to make sure you kind of have an idea of what you're going to do, right?
Correct, and that's always important. Know ahead of time. Don't be trying to make these decisions when you're panicked.
Sure.
And about air quality, obviously us humans try to stay indoors as much as possible. They have to go to the bathroom, obviously, but probably limit how much time, if we're still able to be in our homes.
Correct, yeah. If you're just having really poor air quality in your area. Limiting outside time is really important, especially in our young pets, our old pets, ones that have respiratory issues already. Just really limit that outside time right back in.
Yeah,
this
just
is
don't
a
leave
dumb
them
question.
out there.
Can dogs get like asthma? Like, are there dogs that are more susceptible to bad air than others?
Absolutely, they definitely can have more problems. Asthma is definitely more of a cat issue as well. So be really paying attention to your cats with poor air quality.
Gotcha. And I guess it's just kind of all about making that plan, right?
Yeah, being prepared in every aspect of your life. Very important.
And can you just tell us a little bit more about your sweet dog? You mentioned that she is a therapy dog. So what does that mean, and how did you do that?
Yeah, so she is certified through Alliance Pet Therapy. So she's actually had to go get assessed and cleared to be able to do therapy work in different areas. Her main place of therapy is she goes to Horizon Recovery and works with adolescents that are going through recovery and helps support them through that process.
Hold on, I think this is the right shot. Oh, no, that's just me. I'm trying to find the... Oh, there it is.
You had the two dogs on before.
Look how sweet she is. She is just so well behaved.
So sweet.
Just laying there chilling out. Well, Dr. Kelsey Hall, if people want, you work for City Vet, so if folks have information or rather questions, you can always call you there.
Absolutely, please do. We're happy to always help. That is our job. We love helping pets and we love helping their people.
What is she?
Would you like a cookie?
Yeah. Oh, is that what she wants?
Oh, thank you.
That's all I have to do to get a cookie?
Tiger.
I've got nothing. Give her one of yours.
Oh, dang.
Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, real quick, we're going to play What Year Was It? Okay, here we got. We got about 15 seconds. Oh, come on, where is it? The first bikini was unveiled.
I know it's before the 50s because all those pinup girls,
Oh, you're
right? So
okay,
would it be like
42? 1942.
Hi.
Get your guesses in.
I'll go 46.
All right, welcome back. This is your question of the day. When was the first bikini unveiled? And you said 1946.
I did. Yep.
I said 1942. All right, you ready for the answer here?
We're ready.
Oh, good job. Look
Thank
at this.
you.
And
Thank
a lot
you.
of folks in the chat got it right, too. Look
Round
at
of
that.
applause.
Thomas Brown, Paul Humphrey. Who else got it? Louis Gonzalez. Congratulations.
There you go.
All right, real quick, just so you can have a little history. The modern bikini invented July 5th, 1946 in Paris, France, of all
Italy.
places.
Yep.
By a French engineer and clothing designer. He debuted the controversial navel-bearing two-piece swimsuit at a poolside fashion show in at some swimming pool in Paris there.
I was going to say, if he could see the fashions now.
Right?
Whew.
He'd be rolling over.
Real controversial. Why wear anything, right? Just go naked.
Oh, boy. All right, well, let's get into our next guest. We have Josh Kolsrud with us here on this Tuesday because yesterday were talking about the Tyler Robinson case. He is the individual that is accused of killing the conservative activist Charlie Kirk. This all started yesterday, and this is a preliminary hearing. So first of all, let's just start at the very beginning. What exactly is a preliminary hearing? What are they going to be doing over these next, I guess, 4 days? Because yesterday was the first day.
Yeah, so there are two ways that charges can become official. The first way is the one that we all kind of know about. It's called a grand jury, and it's a secret proceeding, and a grand jury is presented evidence by the prosecutor, and then they either find that there's probable cause or they don't. Now, the second way is a little bit more unusual, and that is a preliminary hearing. And a preliminary hearing, it's the same concept, but instead of a secret proceeding in front of grand jurors, it's conducted before a judge, and the judge determines whether or not probable cause exists. Now, the biggest difference is that in front of a grand jury, defense attorneys are not allowed to be in there ever. But when it's done as a preliminary hearing, they're allowed not only to be there, but they're allowed to ask questions to the government's witnesses. So it's unusual in this case because you would think that in a high-profile capital punishment case, that the prosecutors would just want to do this secretly and not give the defense attorneys an opportunity to question their witnesses and also an opportunity to see what their case is about. So there are a lot of unusual things about this entire situation.
Can I back up one more step?
Yes.
So how do you decide if it's going to be a grand jury case or a preliminary hearing, which we're seeing now?
It's up to the prosecutors. Now, the reason why they're doing this, I think, is because the prosecutors had a huge misstep a few weeks ago. And that was the judge ordered both the defense and the prosecutors not to talk to the media. And one of the prosecutors went to not only one station, but 3 different stations, including TMZ, and talked about how great their evidence was and almost tried to do the entire trial on those news stations in violation of the court orders. Now, the judge said that the attorney responsible is being held in contempt. And the defense attorneys are asking the court for a remedy, which is to take the death penalty off the table. So right now, the number one thing that the defense attorneys want to do is to get the death penalty off the table. And, you know, that may happen. And because of what the prosecutors did, bragging about the evidence, you know, now they have to kind of show that they actually do have the evidence, because what they don't want is for this case to come back on appeal because of missteps that they had at the beginning stages of the trial. Because ordinarily, a preliminary hearing only lasts a day, but this is scheduled for all week. I mean, they're going to be showing all of their cards. They're putting on a ton of witnesses, which is almost never happens, especially on a high-profile capital punishment case.
And is the whole purpose of this to determine if it's going to be charged as a capital punishment?
Well, that's one of the things.
Okay.
So the judge is going to determine, number one, you know, is there enough evidence to go forward on the charges, like the homicide and so forth. The second thing the judge has to consider is whether or not the aggravating factors are present that allow the death penalty to even occur. So in Utah and Arizona, just because somebody is killed doesn't mean that they're eligible for the death penalty. There has to be something else that enhances the situation. And here, what the government is saying is that the way in which Charlie Kirk was assassinated not only killed him, obviously, but also endangered everybody else that was there and placed those people at serious risk of death or serious physical harm. So that's the aggravating factor that the judge is going to have to consider.
Got it. Okay.
Yesterday, I think a lot of folks were talking about, excuse me, obviously we expect the family of Charlie Kirk to be there, as well as his wife, Erica, but also in the audience, Donald Trump Jr. and his wife showed up. Is that in any way, shape, or form on either side maybe trying to sway people to be like, look at kind of the force we have behind us?
Yeah.
Well, it's, optically, it shows how much attention this trial is getting from the country.
Okay.
And it shows its historical importance, right? But, will that sway a jury in the future? Who can say?
Sure.
But it does give a lot of attention to a case that already has a lot of attention. And, obviously, you expect Erica Kirk to be there. I was a little bit surprised maybe that Donald Trump Jr. was there because there is a political component that kind of attaches itself to him being there. And what you don't want as a prosecutor is for something to negatively affect your case. And what I wouldn't want is for a juror to say that this person's not guilty because they know that Donald Trump Jr. is supporting the prosecution or something like that. So, it's something to keep an eye on for sure.
And what happens, so once this is all wrapped up, hopefully by Friday, what happens from here? What is the next step? When would an actual case or a jury trial be arranged for?
So I fully expect that the judge to find probable cause that these crimes were committed and that the aggravating circumstances will allow the death penalty. So after this starts, after he finds probable cause on Friday, we'll have a trial date, and it'll probably be set for either the end of this year or early next year. And once somebody is indicted, which is what will happen here, then you have discovery deadlines, you have motion deadlines, and everybody will be preparing for trial. Now, whenever you have a death penalty case, there are no plea agreements. So don't expect the defendant to plead guilty. However, I'm looking at this case, and everybody's saying that, the evidence is overwhelming, including myself, and you kind of expect there to be the death penalty. But we've also seen the same kind of perception in other cases, such as Brian Kohberger, for instance, or Jodi Arias, two people that we know a lot about, where at the beginning of the case, everybody's saying the evidence is overwhelming, there's got to be a death penalty, they're both going to get it. But at the end of the day, they didn't get it. And that's because of missteps by the prosecution. And here, again, there has already been a huge misstep with the violation of the prosecution going to the media when they knew they were not allowed to do that. And if they have another misstep like that, that could ruin the death penalty for the Kirk family.
All right, while we're talking, I just want to pull up these are live images from the courtroom as we speak, so we'll just kind of play this while we continue to talk. But Josh, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned the evidence. What did we see yesterday, and what is kind of on the docket of the other evidence that we'll be seeing over the next 4 days?
So we saw the beginning part of witness testimony about who saw what and when did they see it. We heard from the prosecution's case agent, for example, and he gave some interesting information that we actually didn't know yet. So he talked about, number one, that there was a gun holster that was discovered near where the person, presumably Mr. Robinson, where he got down from the building where the assassination took place. And the thing that he said that was really surprising was this, that they saw the gun holster, it was for a handgun, and nobody picked it up. Nobody collected the evidence, they don't know who it belonged to, and nobody knows where it is now. Now, some people would say, well, that doesn't mean that they don't know what kind of weapon killed Charlie Kirk, because of course they did. But what a defense attorney is going to say is, look, this is a sloppy police investigation. And we know it's sloppy because there's a huge gaping hole in the investigation because they didn't even collect this evidence. And so if they didn't collect the evidence here and they screwed up here, maybe they screwed up somewhere else. And so it's going to be used in that way during trial for sure.
And as far as a trial, in this case, how do you even pick a jury? how do you even get past all of the media attention, keeping things and the political aspect, just like you mentioned?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's somebody out there who hates Donald Trump or doesn't agree with his policies, and because he supported Charlie Kirk, you know what I mean? How do you even do that?
So death penalty certification juries are some of the hardest jury panels to choose in our system. And the reason why is, number one, everybody has pretty strong feelings one way or another about the death penalty. And so you have to get through that part. But you add the political component to this, and it's going to make it even harder. And so you're looking at a jury selection process that'll likely take months to get to an impaneled jury. And what they're going to need to find is jurors who can be fair and impartial, that they can set aside their personal biases and opinions and look at the evidence fairly. And if they can say that during the process, there's a chance that they could be impaneled.
You mentioned that they're kind of, this is a mini trial, so to speak, this preliminary hearing. Is there anything that they might, I guess, hold back and wait until an actual trial's out there? Kind of like a, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but is there anything that they could hold back as kind of like their, look what I got?
Yeah, and I know what you're trying to get to.
A gotcha, not a gotcha, but something they can hold on to.
So, Ty, this entire circumstance and situation is unusual. Again, a preliminary hearing, when it is conducted, usually only takes a day. Here it's 5 days. And I think that's because the prosecutors are trying to play catch-up because of the missteps that they had previously. So here, I don't think they're trying to hide anything. That's one of the reasons why you want to go to the grand jury. You don't want to show all your cards right now. But here, they're saying, look at our file. Look at our evidence. It is overwhelming. And we want people to know that it's overwhelming and that this prosecution is just and righteous. And at the end of the week, they want to be able to say, see, we told you so. It's as good as we said it was.
It's so interesting.
It really is. The other thing I was going to ask you, too, so let's say that this does go to trial, jury trial. What happens to the final? The jury obviously will say he's guilty or not guilty. And then there's the death penalty phase, which is going to be basically a separate thing. So, I mean, this could potentially be going on for months?
Oh, if not years. Yeah.
Wow.
So, the typical death penalty case here in Arizona takes 2 to 3 years to go from beginning to end. And it'll be something similar in this case, given the amount of evidence.
Wow. Well, Josh, we always love when you come in. You're just a wealth of knowledge. I love talking with him because it's like,
It's so interesting, and I love to put it in layman's terms because us normal folk don't understand.
Know what we're talking about.
I'm like,
sometimes.
wait,
That's
what?
How we rely on the professionals.
That's right.
So thank you as always.
Yeah, we'll definitely be following closely along to that trial for sure.
All right, that's going to do it for us on this Tuesday. We'll be back for a special edition of Fox 10 Talks at noon. We'll see you then.
11:30, the conversation continues with Ron and Des, and you're looking live at Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Did a little research here, Des. Why? Because we love to learn.
Absolutely.
Here on this program.
This is a really nice shot. Look at those.
Isn't it?
Clouds.
Yeah, it looks...
The
Crystal.
clouds or fog?
Crystal would be so fascinated by this, right? So it depends if you're on like the north side of town or the south side of town. It's either a beautiful sunny day or you're covered in clouds. By the way, yes, there was one town named Winston, and it was kind of the industrial town. And then the town of Salem, I guess, goes back to like old world traditions all the way back to the 1700s. Trenton Hooker joins us as well. Well-traveled gentleman. Have you ever spent any time in North Carolina?
I have. A gorgeous area, Winston-Salem, too. My brother lived out in that area.
Oh,
now,
really?
I've seen this shot before. I thought that was a grain silo. I'm changing my opinion. Now I know it's Winston-Salem. That's a cigarette.
You're right. Yeah, I think you're probably right there. The R.J. Reynolds Company, for you people who might still be smokers, there aren't as many as there used to be.
Light them up.
Was founded there in 1875.
Wow.
So, a lot of cigarette money, but now they got a bunch of other stuff going on, high tech. That's for sure. Okay, so here we are, and we are so glad you guys are joining us this morning. Des, it's been a great morning so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a jam-packed day. My goodness.
Trenton, we had a motorcycle. This was the weirdest police chase I think I've ever seen in my life. There was a guy on a motorcycle doing 130 miles an hour.
I think they clocked him.
On the radar.
High speeds, Dave?
Yeah.
149 were some of the highest. It was,
incredible.
Miles per hour.
And yet, as far as we could tell, there wasn't a cop in sight. Right? And he finally gave himself up, and there was not an officer within a mile.
Ran out of gas. That's amazing. That'll make it good.
Right? On the side of the highway. So
but I'm sure the guys in jail will appreciate that one.
Right.
Anybody who flees is stupid, but this guy was at least smart enough to just get on the ground, put his hands behind his head, and just wait.
It's over,
Eventually, they showed up. Crazy.
Incredible.
Breaking news that after.
And while that was going on, you have been monitoring literally hours worth of live feed. We're going to continue the conversation here on the Charlie Kirk assassination case, which, of course, was heartbreaking for not just his literally millions of fans around the country, but here where he was so well known and, had made his home here in the Valley. But, of course, the focus is now on a courtroom in Provo, Utah.
Yeah, and like you said, such an icon out here, and then for this to have so many Arizona connections and to be loved by so many, and also to have, I think, the nation's attention as all this played out. And in court right now, proceedings are still going on. This is a evidentiary hearing that the court set for 5 days to go over, and again, the decision by the prosecution, they had two choices, as they do in Utah. Arizona's the same way, but most cases are presented, of course, before a grand jury who decide, does the evidence reach the threshold of the charges that have been submitted to the court, or you can do what's not as often used, it's more of a rare move, to present them before a judge in an evidentiary hearing. And the at least the way that the evidence is presented, from my understanding, I'm not an attorney, but I've listened to so many give their take on this, when they are bringing forth the evidence, it's much different, at least with the bar, with the grand jury. There's not so much that they have to do, but the bigger factor is that the defense has the right in this case to cross-examine the witnesses and to push back. So it's not a trial, but it is, I guess, a little bit of a trial feeling that you're getting in this.
A trial run of the trial.
Yeah. What's the arguments that are going to be presented? What are their main crux of evidence? And there is a back and forth where you can see the objection. We've had a lot of that the past 2 days. Right now, the judge is deciding on communications between Tyler Robinson, he's the suspect in this case, the man that prosecutors say pulled the trigger, killed Charlie Kirk, and his lover, Lance Twiggs, who's not been charged with a crime, but the prosecutors are saying that the communication before and what was left, the notes to Twiggs, and then Twiggs's testimony to police after the crime was committed. All of that lays out a motive and a crime which they're alleging was fueled by politics and religion.
We have two different clips here. You ready to get to this? Go ahead and set up this first one.
Yes, so the first clip, this is hearing from the lead investigator at the time with the Utah Bureau of Investigations, playing out new evidence that we saw for the first time, surveillance footage showing Tyler Robinson made 4 different trips to Utah Valley University on the 10th and the 11th. The 10th was when Charlie Kirk was murdered, and then the overnight hours, he also returned in his Dodge Challenger. And there's an interaction in that last one where a UVU police officer had some words with Robinson, and he says was a particular note that he took down his license plate.
Okay. And what did Officer Goforth tell you about that interaction?
It was an interaction that I guess cop intuition, but there was something about the interaction that made him make a note of the license plate of the vehicle. And then subsequently, when information was available that vehicle or a vehicle matching the description of that was involved in the incident, he ran the information that he had obtained from the stop and was able to identify that it was registered to Mr. Robinson, and he had in fact had contact with Mr. Robinson on the morning of September 11th, 2025.
The information that he ran, do you know what information when you say that, he ran information?
Yes, he ran a partial plate.
Okay. A license plate?
Correct.
And based on that partial license plate, he was able to identify the owner of that vehicle?
Yes.
And did he tell you who the owner of that vehicle was?
He did, yes.
Okay, and who did he tell you that it belonged to?
Said there were 2 registered owners of the vehicle, Tyler Robinson and an Amber Robinson.
So what he's explaining there too is the first footage you see when Robinson enters into the parking garage. His outfits are different than the footage that we saw that Kash Patel was releasing during the press conferences and the days after that this is our person. The first outfit he has, he's wearing shorts, baseball cap, sunglasses, and I believe a maroon shirt. But then what was interesting, at least in the testimony laid out, made those 2 trips to campus, and the first one he interacted with Turning Point USA people that were there, had like a brief conversation, went back to his car, and then came back again, and he went to lunch, Chick-fil-A, right before he killed Charlie Kirk, allegedly.
Wow, really?
And then
he was there prior to the start of the rally and the big event, and then leaves, gets lunch, comes back.
Correct. And when you see him come back, his changed outfits, although he's wearing the same shoes, the investigator testified, but he has pants and he has a noticeable limp. And what they were kind of trying to thread the needle there was that allegedly he was carrying the rifle, the antique rifle that he used to kill Kirk with. And then played footage of what they say is him climbing stairs in the Losi Center, which was the building with the rooftop that was overlooking the courtyard where Charlie Kirk was holding that event. And they say the footage of him going down the stairwell, which we saw in the days after, where the FBI was saying, this is our prime suspect in it. Does anybody know him? Please identify him. And he was wearing a black shirt with an American flag, sunglasses, etc. But we saw a little clearer footage where you could see his gait was different than the first 2 clips that they were showing in the parking garage.
So this is the second clip then.
So this is the defense attorneys. They're also doing the cross-examination, which I was alluding to before, that this is
like
different.
Trial,
right, exactly. And they were questioning other motives that could explain why this happened. And they set up what they recovered, another bullet, a rifle bullet, on another roof.
Wasn't there also a bullet found on another building?
I believe an unfired bullet had been found on another building at some point during my time there on September 10th, yes.
Which building was that, sir?
I don't recall.
Was that considered a scene that was worth preserving?
It was not. My recollection is that was accounted for as an ejected cartridge from an officer who had cycled his rifle.
Okay, I thought you said it was an unfired bullet, and now you're saying it was a cartridge?
When a weapon is cleared, an officer would make his rifle ready, which would chamber around.
Oh, I got you.
My understanding was that that's how that was accounted for.
So an officer claimed that bullet belonged to him or her?
That's my recollection, is that was how it was accounted for.
And when was that accounted for?
I don't know specifically.
Do you remember what type of bullet that was?
I don't.
Was it a 30-06? Do you remember?
I don't.
Okay. Do you know where that bullet is now?
I don't.
Oh, so that's interesting. So
Yes.
that's something
Yes.
the defense might try to grab onto.
Right. And you can kind of see where they're going with this to try to offer alternate theories of was there another shooter, et cetera. Now, I will say, just to follow up to that particular clip, the prosecution was able to kind of re-examine the witness there and went over that particular part and asked, is this a common thing when you have a crime of this size happening in an investigation with how many officers are there? They said, yes, it's not uncommon in his experience to see there were, I think, more than 1,000 officers almost within the first few minutes.
45 seconds left here. Tell us briefly about the exchange of notes between Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs.
So what the prosecutors are alleging is that these notes contain the motive, means of why Robinson targeted Charlie Kirk, and this was about marriage, this was about gender issues and sexuality, and even referenced religious passages. Matthew 19 was the book that they brought up on the Bible, going over those reasons why he allegedly murdered Charlie Kirk.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
Was the family in court again today? Does it look like they'll be there all week?
Now, some of them spoke, right? His parents?
Yes.
Charlie Kirk's parents?
Yes. And they were there with Erica. And then also we had Donald Trump Jr. again in court today, showing their support. Robinson's family also in court behind him.
Okay. Well, great job again.
Trenton.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So valuable to have someone like Trenton be able to watch, every...
Learning new stuff every day from
There's
him.
a lot coming out of that courtroom.
Mystery Cam time, y'all. We'll be right back. literally, Des, all over the map. Literally. I mean, from Vermont to Iowa, Illinois to Vermont, Georgia, Louisiana. You guys' guesses are, they're making us really think hard today.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And once again, I'm stumped. I don't know. Oh, they seem like good guesses.
So funny.
I know. Louis
I feel like you put too much pressure on yourself.
Also, my brain is starting to get a little
little mushy.
Yeah, it's
little
getting
bit
a
mushy,
little mushy here.
right?
45. Louis Gonzalez says Louisiana. A little philosophy. Georgia, Vermont, B. Miguel, Illinois, Iowa, Vermont.
What do you got?
Vermont's in here twice.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Virginia.
All right. I love those Vermont guesses, but I have been to Vermont, and there's a lot more hills around right by their state capital.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I recognize it. I'm going to go. Here you are.
I know that building is so beautiful.
Yeah,
Right? It has to be a capital.
I think it's Springfield, Illinois, is my guess. But ready? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Peek, Ron.
I did not. But we've had this camera once before. Let's go show it.
Well, Outlaw Dynamo. Good job. You got it right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And so the reason I remember it is
Good job,
when
Haas.
you go, I don't know, maybe if you turned this camera around, it would show you Abraham Lincoln's house. It's so cool to spend time in Springfield, Illinois.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they have like 6 city blocks.
Get to go in?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can walk in it?
I'm Des. It's like he just walked out of the house 10 minutes ago. Everything is preserved, beautifully preserved. And it's kind of eerie, honestly.
Yeah, that
I
would
mean, you
give
can
you
sort of
chills.
feel the ghosts walking around in that house. But yeah, if you love history, it's worth a trip, that's for sure. Okay, now what about if you love Team USA and you were hoping that we were going all the way? I mean, who doesn't fit into that category, Des? All of us here.
I know.
Right?
We were hoping for a different turnout here. We're talking with James Torres. You've been reporting on the World Cup since it started, and we're a little bummed this morning, right? No more Team USA.
Help us through it, bud.
Bummed is an understatement. You know, we had some folks who asked me this morning, hey, what do you have to say about the USA game? I'm like, I have a lot more to say than I think I'm allowed to say in front of a camera here. It was a tough. That's a tough match to watch. Especially we just had USA here in the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium down in Santa Clara when they played Bosnia and Herzegovina. Obviously, the big headline there was that Flo Balogun red card and whether he actually deserved it. You get to a point where you just kind of have to accept it, and you're like, all right, whatever. You know, we took care of business against Bosnia. Malik Tillman really, showed what this team's about with that last-minute free kick, and we're just going to have to bite the bullet and move forward. And then all the drama comes up that there was a Trump phone call over to FIFA. FIFA's disciplinary committee, independent of the actual FIFA organization, decides that this red card will be suspended for about a year. They never actually come out and said anything about the officiating from the Bosnia game, but nonetheless, Flo Balogun is back. He's in the starting lineup. Team USA prepared without him. So can they make the shift quick enough for him to be in the starting lineup again? Well, sure. They did that the first 2 matches, right? And it was really disappointing to see because there was so much to look forward to see with this team on home soil, the way they were performing, hoping to get back to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002. With a team that won the most matches in a single World Cup by a USA team, scored the most goals by a USA team in a single World Cup. This seems like such a brutal, harsh way for this campaign to end.
Yeah, and do you think, I know professional athletes will say they tune out all of the noise, right? They don't watch the news, they don't get into all of that, especially before such a big, important game. But do you think some of the controversy had anything to do with kind of throwing off their mojo or no?
You would think that this would be at least some bit of a distraction here, but you've got to also understand these players are professionals. They are professionals in their field. So they know what it's like, even with their club teams, to get all of this stigma and all of this noise and all of this criticism, comments, concerns, you name it. They've had that their entire lives, whether it was with Team USA or AC Milan or Chelsea or Juventus in the Premier League, in La Liga or Serie A or in the Netherlands. They've gone through this so many times here. So I think they probably do a really good job of trying to tune it on out and stay focused on the actual match. I'm sure there are leaders on this team in the Christian Pulisic's and the Tim Reams that help some of the other guys do that. So I would really like to think that this was not nearly as much of a distraction as we could say it potentially could have been. But certainly you got to wonder what in the world happened, because this was not the same team we saw against Paraguay, same team we saw against Australia or Bosnia.
Yeah.
Would you say that, of course, in the sports world now, we're going to continue to watch right up through July 19th, but a little bit of the air has come out of the balloon. I mean, let's be honest about it. And then we go on to the second half of the baseball season, and then we go on to college football and the NFL. But would you say in our country that things have changed a little bit, such that the excitement that was generated from coast to coast elevates the sport perhaps to a little higher level between, say, now and 4 years from now?
I'll take you even beyond coast to coast, because if you listen to some of the commentary from some of the Fox soccer groups, and you got guys like Zlatan Ibrahimovic who says if they keep playing like this, the USA could potentially win the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I have never heard any professional commentator, non-American, especially a soccer legend himself, say something like that about any U.S. team. And U.S. teams have had tiny bits of success in the World Cup. I mean, back in 2010, that was the big Landon Donovan goal where he scored the 90th minute game winner to send them into the knockout stage. I mean, even then, we got a lot of people in all these different communities super hyped in on the team, investing in the team, but it still didn't feel the same as it did this time around. And I think it had a lot to do with it being on home soil, having matches stretch from LA to San Francisco to Seattle, with the potential that you would move on to Dallas or Houston and New York City. You would touch everywhere throughout the country in this campaign if you had the best case scenario. And I think people just really wanted to see that. Not to mention all these other World Cups where we had success, we still never won 3 matches. We never scored 11 goals. You didn't have that kind of success. You didn't have a situation where you won your first 2 group matches, and then your third group match was basically a rest day for your players. You had that in this World Cup, and I think that, along with the home field advantage, really contributed to everyone's investment and buy-in of this team. What's great about the game of soccer now is I think people aren't so quick to pull out of that kind of investment and buy-in, that I think they're going to stick around and watch a lot of these quarterfinals matchups. We just had an incredible match between Argentina and Egypt that just wrapped up about 30, 40 minutes ago here. So there's a lot of great soccer left to watch coming up this next week and a couple days.
Yeah, what other match do we have coming up today?
Yeah, we've got Colombia, Switzerland. I think my voice has been going out all of this entirety of the World Cup, and that watch party yesterday for USA did not do me any favors. But we've got Colombia, Switzerland coming up in probably about an hour from now. The winner of that match will take on Argentina, who just took care of business against Egypt. Switzerland, Colombia might be, of all the round of 16 matchups, the most even matchup you might be able to find in this group. Colombia has this resurgence of veterans who are showing that they can still play, led by a guy named James Rodriguez, who is likely playing in his last World Cup. Meanwhile, you've got Switzerland with a ton of really young talent who've all proven that they can score some goals. They can be the dominant role in some of these teams. They've got this little European bias along with them. The World Cup usually offers that European bias. So Colombia is hoping to shut that down. Switzerland is hoping to say, hey, I know a lot of European teams have gone home. We're not going to be one of them. So that'll be a fun game to watch.
So great.
Yeah,
all right.
really
Well,
cool. Well, I have to ask you before we let you go, because I saw you spend some time in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I did, yeah.
I think we were in Tennessee around the same time. So I was at WSMV in like 2018. So I just thought that was cool. Are you a football fan?
Oh, my God. You know, I did not care for NFL football for the most part growing up. I grew up in South Florida, just north of Miami, and the Dolphins were trash for a really long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
And then I went to the University of Florida, got super into college football, and my first job out of college was up in Chattanooga. And at the time, Derrick Henry was just absolutely crushing it with the Titans. They were going off to the NFC title championships. So that was a really fun period to be in Tennessee. So I kind of bought into the Titans for a while.
Well, I was going to say, I know, because my husband played for the Titans. He was a running back behind Derrick Henry. Yeah, I'm like, wait, we were all there at the same time.
Small
Look at that.
world.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Small world. That's so great.
Yeah.
Well,
Really
next time
cool.
I see you, you have to say hi. You can't.
Of course.
Just not say hi.
Yeah, I hope to meet you someday. Now you're crushing it in San Fran. It's cool.
Yeah,
We love that.
San Francisco. We don't say San Fran here.
Oh,
I know you're still there, but
we don't want to. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
Well, next time I see you, you have to say hi. You can't.
Of course.
Just not say hi.
Yeah, I hope to meet you someday. Now you're crushing it in San Fran. It's cool.
Yeah.
We love that.
San Francisco. We don't say San Fran here.
Oh, Francisco.
I know you're still there, but
We don't want to. Like tourists.
Look at you dirty.
Vegas.
All right, welcome on in, you guys. We're going to keep things rolling here at noon, a special edition of Fox 10 Talks. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. I don't know. Sitting next to you for another day, it's a wild ride.
This is
but it's fun.
The best part of your day.
That's true. That's true.
All right, we were talking earlier about how hot it is going to be. We could potentially be seeing some of the hottest temperatures that we have seen so far this year. Crystal's been telling us it's coming, and now it is kind of knocking on our doorstep.
That's right. Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
Who's
Don't
there?
answer
Here
it.
I am.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, here's Crystal.
Yeah, it's, I mean, there's no way to slice it. Yesterday when I walked out the door from work, it was like, boom.
Yeah.
It just like hit.
you.
And of course we walk out to a parking lot, so it's even worse. It was just like, oh man, it's here. It doesn't help that it was so nice last week. We had like the 102s, the 103s, so 114 is going to feel a little rough this afternoon.
It really will. All right, let's get to the maps.
All right,
Crystal.
There's a view from Tempe Town Lake, and it looks great until you see the temperature, which is now 107 degrees. Yeah, so the average for this time of year at Phoenix Sky Harbor is 107. So we are clearly going to blast through that. It's only 12:01, and we've already made it there. Extreme heat warning is in place. We've been talking about this, but just a reminder, it's in place through Thursday. So today, tomorrow, and Thursday for a good chunk of southern Arizona. There's some of the higher elevations down in far southeastern Arizona that are not. But for the most part, all the valley, most of Pinal County are going to be under this alert, and that extends out to Yuma and as far as the east edge of the state as well. And then the Grand Canyon, which is no stranger to these heat warnings, below 4,000 feet. It's just too hot to hike. So they put these out as a way to remind and really to keep people safe. So this will be in place through at least Saturday night, 8 o'clock. I thought it would be worthwhile to point out that our dew point temperatures are also climbing. So part of the reason it feels so like ew outside is because the humidity, yes, it's starting to climb. We're not quite as high as we'd like to see for storm potential. In the valley, for instance, we're at 51, but that is noticeable. So we're at the bottom of the scale right now, which last week we weren't even anywhere on the scale. We were much drier. So this is an indicator we're starting to see some moisture trickle back into play. But look down at like Yuma. I mean, 60 is very humid.
Ooh,
that is
yeah.
tropical feeling air, and they're quite hot too. So, I mean, it could be worse if you're in Yuma watching. I apologize, but yeah, it is a little sticky out there. And we have a few storms that have fired off as a result in the high country. Of course, this time of year, part of the way that we get our good monsoon storm action is because you get just enough moisture and heating of the day that hot air starts to rise up the mountainsides, and they provide just enough lift for these storms to develop. Then if the storms are strong enough, they run down the mountainsides and towards the valley. These aren't going to be super strong. I don't expect anything to make it all the way into the valley, aside from maybe some outflow winds. But you can see currently that those storms are falling over, just like parts of the White Mountains, so around like Eager, Show Low, White River, which is the exact area it was in yesterday too. I could have like replayed what I said yesterday pretty much, because this is where the storms are again forming. As we go through the afternoon, you'll see that a few more showers and storms up to like Flagstaff down to southeastern Arizona will be possible. And then as we head into the evening hours, those storms fizzle, the outflows from those storms pushing some clouds into the valley. So I think it's going to be one of those where later in the afternoon you're going to see the clouds in the distance and be like, oh, maybe. It's like, no, probably not. Yeah, just out of reach. So we will feel some breezes likely picking up through, especially Pinal County. Maybe a little bit of patchy blowing dust if there is a stronger storm, but for the most part, I think it's just some clouds off in the distance. And then we'll do the same thing tomorrow again, where we'll see those showers and storms up in the high country and then kind of weakening as they try to approach us. But the good news is that this is the like very early, like this is the stretching before the race here, where the monsoon pattern will start to set up.
Stretching before the race.
Do you
Look
like
at
that?
analogy. I love that.
Yeah. So there's a look at your precip outlook for the next 7 days. The best chance through this weekend, or into the weekend really, is the high country and then southeastern Arizona. But as we head into late weekend, early next week, that's when the valley could start to see some rain, actual rain falling instead of this like clouds or sprinkles or anything like that. I mean, just the fact that this map has Arizona colored is great, because usually when I show this is a national map where it just analyzes the best chances of rain across the whole country. And usually Arizona is just totally clear. So the fact that there's even some rain accumulation likely is very nice. 114 is the forecast high for today. Record's 118, so we're not setting a record. 96 degrees for Payson, 98 in Winslow. Sedona's at almost 100 degrees, so all around everyone's toasty. And then tonight it'll be very mild too. 90 for the low in Phoenix. 53 is much nicer, of course, up in Flagstaff. And then like middle 80s down in Pinal County. And then the 10-day forecast, the temperature actually peaks tomorrow, thanks to the area of high pressure that's going to hang out over us these next few days. So 115 tomorrow, 114 Thursday, and then we're still at around around 110 through
Ty's
Saturday.
falling off his chair.
Yeah, he's
folks.
not happy with me.
And Crystal, I have to say, even with those temperatures, the chat loves you.
Yeah.
Little philosophy saying,
Oh my God, Queen Crystal, I love that.
Weather Master Crystal.
Okay.
And then Jenna comes in and she's like, Master.
She's the queen.
I love it.
And then they remastered it and
Queen
says,
Crystal, the Weather Master. You need to put that on your
I'm
business
talking to the
cards.
promo department immediately.
Yeah, they need to put that in a
Forget
promo.
meteorologist. I just want that title all the time. Thanks,
we want
guys.
a drum section bringing you into work every day.
Here we go. Queen Crystal,
Can you guys work on
the
a
Weather
crown for me?
Master.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
We can do
like
something
like
like
a
that.
little. You can just cut it out of paper.
We'll do whatever you want.
We'll go through the Burger King drive-thru and then color it. Might be
Perfect.
easier.
In
I
and
can't
out, maybe.
wait.
We can get her a little.
Yeah,
And
something
just
like
put
that.
some jewels. Hillary can bedazzle it for her.
Love this.
Love it.
This is getting better by the
We
second.
got you.
Thanks,
Crystal.
guys.
All right. Well, we'll check in with you tomorrow too, because we've already booked you for tomorrow.
Perfect.
On all the shows.
I think we'll
We need
probably
the
be
queen.
chatting weather all
Yeah,
week long,
for
especially
sure.
with those storm chances hopefully increasing for the valley.
All
I'm
right.
ready for some good storms.
We are
Same.
too.
Yeah. Thanks,
All right, you
Crystal.
guys, thank you. All right, the other big story, this was breaking news, and it's kind of wild story. In fact, we have live pictures, so I'm going to throw those up first so you can see exactly what we're talking about. This is in Midtown Manhattan. This is at a big building that they are basically doing some reconstruction. They're taking it from like a commercial building and turning it into a residential building. But earlier this morning, bricks started falling, so people were calling 911 and being like, what's going on? Basically, and it's kind of hard to see, but I have some video I want to show you too. Look
And
at
they're
this.
saying what? The building is a former 37-story office building that is being converted into homes. Crews there are adding 11 stories to one side of the building, and that is when, look at that.
Look inside.
That's the video that you were talking
Yeah,
about, right?
You can see, look at the beams starting to crack, and that's when they went
my
in
goodness.
there. They had to evacuate a huge, basically, portion of Midtown Manhattan because they were like, we don't know if this building is going to come down. So right now, this is kind of that ongoing story. They have structural engineers up there. Obviously, the New York City Fire Department is making sure that this is safe. We also had a press conference earlier with the mayor of New York City. Basically, they've had to evacuate some of these buildings. They've basically dropped off cordoned off
Like barricades?
so pedestrians can't go anywhere near it either. So
And it
this
says
is
they're using
wild.
drones right now to go through the building, check things out.
They call it a collapse zone. That's what I was trying to find. The collapse zone has been
Oh,
established.
yeah. 7 surrounding buildings were evacuated, including a school with 400 students inside that school.
Isn't that wild?
It's crazy. And I wonder, too, how long is it going to be shut down for? So obviously this is the immediate, what's going on right now today, but how long until those structural engineers can get in there and secure things and make things okay?
And you also think that if you're going to be like reconstructing a building like this and adding more stories, wouldn't they have had multiple people come in
Yeah.
and check it out to make sure that it's okay?
You would think, because I would assume that building was structurally sound
Saved
for those
yeah.
stories, and then adding more, which is weight. Yeah, not
Interesting story.
Not good. Very scary.
All right, so we're going to be monitoring that. This is so cool. When I was a kid, I was kind of obsessed with the Titanic.
Same.
It was so
Same.
cool.
I saw it so many times.
Well, not the movie, but like
Oh.
the actual. The movie was good too, but the whole
It
like.
inspired me, and then I became obsessed with the Titanic. Ty.
There you go. But there's a new immersive exhibit that is at the Galleria Center in Scottsdale about basically the ship hitting the iceberg and then sinking back in 1912, April of 1912. So we have Jessica joining us live here this morning talking about this immersive experience. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. So for people that haven't seen this before, walk us through what this is all about, this immersive experience.
Oh, yes, sure. Titanic, an immersive voyage, takes people through the building of the ship all the way to the discovery of the wreck site using immersive technology and full-scale reproductions of certain portions of the ship.
And where are you standing right now? That looks, what is that, like the walkway to get on the ship, or what is that?
Yeah, so the exhibition starts with how media impacts how we remember the story and how it keeps it alive in our memories. But this, where I'm standing, is where you embark upon the ship of dreams, the opulent Titanic.
So when folks walk through, Jessica, what can they expect to see? I mean, obviously the visuals, we did a live shot there not too long ago, and you were kind of showing us through the entire ship. It looks like a replica, basically.
Correct, yes. So we do have full-scale reproductions of certain areas of the ship, and then we also have immersive environments where instead of looking at things in cases, which you can do, we do have artifacts and memorabilia, you can actually step into history, and guests can experience Titanic in a brand new and compelling way.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I mean, there is so much to do with the Titanic, and it's still popular. I mean, this exhibit alone, I'm sure, is going to draw hundreds and hundreds of people. What do you think it is? That just the curiosity, the history of it? It's such a topic to talk about, and it just continues through time.
Well, it's very interesting because even just in your conversation before, one of you came in that we were obsessed with Titanic, the other one came in through the movie. So there are many entry points into this story, but because this story is so compelling, you deal with loss, tragedy, love, engineering, Edwardian society, all of these themes that are just so enthralling, they bring you in. There's something in this story for everybody.
I mean, obviously you guys have been open for a week or two, or a little bit longer than that, but what are some of the most, I guess, what are folks most drawn to when they come to this immersive experience?
Oh my goodness. Well, I will tell you what we're hearing from guests is, again, the opportunity to experience Titanic in a different way using technology and immersive environments. But the shipwreck model is very interesting. Being able to walk through and experience the grand staircase and see a full-size reproduction of a first-class cabin is interesting. The lifeboat gallery is very impactful. It's just emotionally impactful, and really people are connecting with that emotionally.
How long should people give themselves if they're going to the exhibit to walk through it and experience it all? About how long does it take?
Well, honestly, you can spend up to 2 hours. You can spend about an hour plus. It just depends on how deep in the content you want to go. I will recommend, though, doing the VR experience, because that is what's going to allow people to explore the wreck site, which only a few people have ever done in the world. So it's an opportunity to go down to see Titanic as she rests now.
All right, we've only got about 45 seconds left, but do folks need to make reservations to come, or can they buy tickets at the door, and how much are they?
The tickets range from $20 to $40 depending on which experience you choose. Like I mentioned, you're going to want to get the VIP experience because it includes the VR. You can go to expo-titanic.com to get tickets. You don't need reservations ahead, but I do recommend it. You can also buy tickets on site. And that's at 4301 North Scottsdale Drive, the corner of 5th and North Scottsdale. You're going to take the escalators down to the entrance.
How cool.
Awesome. And how long again is it on display for?
It'll be presented by Fever for Exhibition Hub until the end of the year.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Come please join us. Rick, she said you're clear. Okay.
You're all set.
All right, welcome back, you guys. We are going to, we did have live images earlier when we were talking to Josh Kolsrud, an attorney, about what was going on with the Tyler Robinson case. This is day 2 of this preliminary hearing, which they expect is going to last until Friday.
Yep. And it was crazy, too, because as Josh was saying, that this is typically only a day that it takes to get through all this, but this one lasting an entire week.
Yeah,
so
much longer than that, right?
Hopefully Friday they'll be wrapped up and done.
Okay, so again, this is the 23-year-old accused of assassinating the conservative political activist Charlie Kirk. Kirk's widow, Erica, was back in the courtroom today. They are on a lunch break right now. That's why we don't have any video, but this was from earlier today with those prosecutors kind of going back and forth. The court saw a compilation of surveillance video evidence. Prosecutors say it shows Robinson's moments and movements on the Utah Valley University campus the day of the shooting. So we do have a little bit of that testimony from earlier, so we're going to listen to that.
As Mr. Robinson lands on the grass, As Mr. Robinson lands on the grass, it's almost like he either drops it or goes into a crouched position, and then when he returns up from that, it is again clear that there is some kind of an item in his hand, yes.
Okay. Can you be more specific or describe in more detail?
It appears to be black, and it appears to be longer.
Okay, anything else about that item?
No.
Okay. I believe it was Exhibit 9, State's Exhibit 9, that Ms. Nestor pulled up on the screen, and she had you look at that. And I believe what you looked at was beginning a still image, but then a few moments or a few seconds of that video. And that's the UVU tunnel video. Is that right?
The breezeway underneath the Hall of Flags, yes.
And the view is from behind, where I believe you testified that Mr. Kirk was on the other side of what appears to be a banner in that tunnel view.
Yes.
And on the other side of that banner is the tent and then the rest of the courtyard. Is that correct? Fair to say? Do you remember seeing the banner?
Yes.
In the video? Okay. And
you're referring to the back of the pop-up tent?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. And do you remember? What do you remember about that banner?
It has some kind of an emblem on it, and it forms the back portion of the pop-up tent.
Is it opaque? Is it transparent?
No, you can't see through it. It's white, and then you cannot see through it. No.
And how much of the tunnel does that banner, I guess if it's opaque, obstruct?
I couldn't say. I'm assuming it's a 20 by 20 gazebo, so it would block out the area of the back of the tent that you can see. You would not be able to see through it. You would not be able to see through it from the audience side of the amphitheater.
And what about the tunnel side of that banner? Can you see through the tunnel side in the opposite direction?
You cannot, no.
Okay. Can you see Mr. Kirk on the other side of that banner?
You can't, no.
Okay. Well, we exhibited, or Ms. Nestor had you watch just, I believe, just a brief few seconds of that video. That exhibit is actually much longer than what we just looked at, or what Ms. Nestor had you look at. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And leading up.
So that's just a little bit of that testimony that we heard earlier today. Again, they are on a lunch break. They should be coming back here any minute now. And of course, we are streaming that on a separate YouTube channel if you would like to continue to watch that testimony. It's on our Fox 10 YouTube page. Our other big story we're following for you, growing concern in Washington and Kentucky about the health of the state's longtime Senator Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, so now he's been hospitalized for what has it been, about
nearly a month
or so, and there's been rumors swirling online that his health might be much worse than what his handlers, his people are letting on. So some are speculating that he's even brain dead, but no mainstream media official sources have confirmed that. So I think there's just a lot of speculation going on right now.
Well, and his office is not really saying much either, and his inability to vote on the GOP's agenda is putting stress on the party as well. So we do have a story that Alexandria Hoff filed, so we're going to play that for you now.
With control of the Senate potentially up for grabs in the November midterms, one senator's extended absence is raising new questions on Capitol Hill. Former GOP leader Mitch McConnell has been in the hospital since June 14th after paramedics responded to a report of cardiac arrest at the 84-year-old's home, according to dispatcher audio. 3 weeks later, there's been no specific updates on his condition. His office releasing a statement Monday night that read, Senator McConnell appreciates the outpouring of support he's receiving while he continues his recovery in the hospital. Senator continues to improve and is working closely with his staff on Kentucky and Senate matters while the Senate is out of session. Senate Republicans are already navigating a slim majority, and McConnell's absence is having an impact on the agenda, including on a war powers resolution late last month that narrowly passed, in part because he was not present to vote against it.
On this motion, the yeas are 50, the nays are 48. The concurrent motion is agreed to.
McConnell is not up for re-election, and this term was set to be his last. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
All right, have you been to the new Global Ambassador Hotel?
Ty, no, I'm not cool enough.
Oh. Well.
I feel like it's just, I'm just not cool enough.
I thought if
I don't hit the mark.
If anybody in this newsroom had been, you'd been like, yeah, I'm a regular there.
Nope. I'm a sheltered individual.
That doesn't leave her little bubble.
I have a little wild 6-year-old at home, and we just eat dinner and go to bed.
All right, well, listen to this, though, because they're
You
getting...
haven't been?
I have been.
Of
once.
course you have.
Just once.
Of course you have.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, I bet.
It's quite the scene, though.
See what I'm saying? I'm like, I feel out of place there.
It's a little too sceney for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen to this. Travel and Leisure is out with the world's best awards for 2026. The Global Ambassador is the #1 resort in Arizona.
It doesn't surprise me because everything there is just...
And anything that Sam Fox touches turns to gold, really?
True.
Right?
Very true. And it costs you a lot of gold to go to the Global Ambassador, from what I've heard. But
top among the top of travelers must visit lists as well. Many saying they would visit again. Crystal, have you
know
been?
who would go? A queen.
A queen.
Would
Hold
go.
on. So we do have to show you this because after they came up with that moniker for you in the chat.
Mr.
Which camera
Glenn.
should I look at?
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's go there.
Okay, because I
Ready?
just want to make sure that I'm really...
Boom.
Yay!
Queen Crystal, the weather master. Hold on, I gotta get a picture of that.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Okay, look. Oh wait, hold on. Wait. Wrong.
Very regal. Wait a second. Oh,
Hold on.
The paparazzi.
Look, my phone froze. She was just making fun of my phone. She's
Here.
like, "How old is that
I
thing?"
know. Ty has. He's not Global Ambassador material.
Wow. Okay, there we go. Queen Crystal. Oh.
So
that is good.
That's so good.
All right, here.
Have you
Thank
ever
you
been,
for
Crystal?
that. I have not been to the Global Ambassador.
The one place
That's good.
that is cute.
Oh, yeah. Solid.
That I have wanted to try. I guess they have a Mediterranean restaurant on the very top.
Yes.
That
I love, that's my favorite type
Is
of
it-
food.
Yeah. So everyone says it's great.
Thea. Taya. What is it?
Thea?
Thea.
That was my
Where did
grandma's
you
name.
go?
There.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I
Was
didn't
it
know what
good? Was the
called.
hummus good?
Yeah, and there I had like some Moroccan carrots.
I was going to say, were there carrots?
Yeah.
Yes.
They were really good.
There was a spot in Philly that was on the rooftop of this old building, and like the carrots there, I've been searching my whole life to
This
imitate
might come.
those.
This might come close to those. They were really good.
Okay. Now I want to go, but no, I also am not cool enough. I have a 2-year-old at home, so we
Yeah.
also just hang out and cook dinners.
That's right. That's all we do. Yep. Chuck E. Cheese are us. Is that us?
Needs a new Can we just shout out Glenn for his like quick move in here?
How is Glenn doing this so quickly?
We need a camera on Glenn.
Wow,
Yeah, so we
Glenn.
can show everyone the master.
Put one for Danielle that says
Oh,
something
gosh.
along the lines of "doesn't get out enough."
Yeah. How about you just put loser? Let's just call it like it is, Glenn. Loser.
Oh, this is fun.
It's okay.
But look, Jen and Little Philosophy, the ones that came up with your new moniker, they're applauding.
Yay! Thanks, guys, for this.
Why did I get loser?
Because you're one. We're losers together.
Glenn is having way too much. Yeah, Glenn is having way too much fun. with
I'm
this
waiting for our
newfound
boss
power.
to start walking.
Yeah,
I know,
we're like,
moment.
you guys.
Everybody straighten up. Straighten up.
take that down.
Oh my gosh. That's really fun.
That is fun. I didn't know we had that capability, so now we have to do this all the time.
That might get dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the wrong hands, indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, that was
So
good.
funny.
Yeah, HR is going to want to talk to us after the show.
They're going to be ringing us here on your old phone. It might not work. HR, you might not get through on this old baby.
You have to wind it up to make a
We're
call.
about
on
10
this
seasons behind.
Hello?
Oh, boy. Ty, get a new phone. Come on.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with mine.
Oh, we're
wait,
gonna
there's
get Glenn on camera?
Okay, hold on.
Wait, where?
This is the mastermind. Hold on, I got to get
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to
show
get a
the
picture.
mastermind.
Come on, Glenn.
Do we have a shot?
How do I push the button to make him do it?
Okay, it's on.
I don't have the
Can Glenn just walk over
cam.
here? Glenn, come join the chat.
Oh,
They
I
said,
was so
wow,
excited.
Glenn did Ty dirty.
Oh, no! What happened?
Hold on.
Oh.
Wait for it. Oh. He's working on it.
All right.
How much time do we have?
Listen, he's super talented, so he'll figure it out.
Oh, dang.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
This is...
If Glenn
Here
can
goes
step
Glenn.
away, can't he just come over here?
Yay! He's our favorite.
Or he's the jolly good guy.
Or he's
So he's the one responsible for all of that. So
Glenn,
thank
good
you, Glenn.
job.
That was awesome.
I still didn't get one, though, so we're tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
I expect to
yeah.
have
No, in the next 2 minutes.
That's right. Oh, we have 2 minutes.
We have 2 more
Okay.
minutes?
Well, do you want me to burn some time with
Yeah,
a
burn
little
some
weather?
time, and then
okay.
Glenn
he
will
can make
work his
something special
magic,
for
right?
Let's
Danielle.
get serious here, folks.
Okay, back to the heat. I'm such a bummer. Am I
lower
queen
third.
or am I like a buzzkill? I don't know. 114 is the forecast temperature for today. 118 is the record for today, and that was set back in 2017. So we are not record level, but we are getting pretty close to record level. And as we mentioned, that temperature trend is keeping us in that 110 plus territory for today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before we start to see a drop. Now, the good news is that the drop does involve us seeing a chance of rain start to uptick, not just in the high country, but in the valley as well. So there's that increase to about a 10% chance Saturday.
We reserve.
Before then, if anything, it's just going to be like some winds, like outflow winds that are going to be picking up in the evening hours. But Saturday into Sunday, Sunday into Monday, that chance goes from 10 to 20% chance. I'm hopeful that as we get closer to this event, because this is still a ways out, that my confidence will increase and I'll bump those numbers a bit more. Maybe the coverage will look a little stronger. But for now, it looks like the potential for some monsoon moisture is really going to begin to increase over the weekend and into early next week. So
Let's hope so.
Yeah,
Right.
We
pretty
need
exciting.
it.
We sure do. All right, did Glenn work his magic with Danielle?
Oh, boy, I'm
Last but
nervous.
not
Oh, I'm nervous.
needed a lower third.
Oh.
I'm used to it, Glenn. Bottom of the pool here.
Wait, now, we just taught some inside lingo to everyone watching as well.
We call that
Lower
A lower third.
because it's in the lower
Or a
third of the
CG.
string.
or
yeah.
CG.
Which what does that stand for?
A chyron.
Is that what it stands for?
Chiron generator?
Right? Glenn? That's
Glenn
a
would
chyron,
know.
right?
Sure. We're just going to make up our
There's
own
that
lingo.
UNLV schooling making its way.
I love it. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. That was a fun show.
That was good.
That was very fun.
Hopefully our
was a lot of
bosses
fun.
think so too.
Yeah, right?
If so, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you never.